Hello, welcome to the morning news. The president of the Venezuelan parliament, Diosdado Cabello, revealed a second part of the recording, which shows another conversation between opposition leaders Leopoldo Lopez and Daniel Ceballos. In the recording, both prisoners speak of internal divisions between the two leading parties of the opposition coalition, Lopez's Voluntad Popular Party and Enrique Capriles' Primero Justicia. The new order comes after another recording showed both Lopez and Ceballos plotting to violently destabilize the government. President Nicolas Maduro said justice will be imposed on anyone planning violent actions.
Al que se descubre este tipo de cosas, ¿no? La ley tiene que aplicarse en su máxima dimensión, con su máxima
Whoever is found doing these things will have justice applied at its maximum level.
Al terrorismo, puño de hierro, con todo hay que caerle.
And those involved in any type of terrorist act will have been dealt with justice twice as firmly. The victimizers are always trying to present themselves as victims, and they are whom are trying to kill the people of Venezuela.
Both Lopez and Ceballos claimed they have begun a hunger strike to protest against the government in an attempt to create an atmosphere of destabilization. They are being held in Ramo Verde prison under charges of inciting violence in February 2014, leading to the death of at least 43 people. A general strike swept across 60 regions of southern Peru in the continuation of 67 days of protests against the Mexican mining project known as Tia Maria that locals say will destroy the environment. The UN Regional Office for Human Rights has called for a de-escalation of tensions, while President Ollanta Humala has responded by deploying the army to all of the regions where the general strike is taking place. Dozens of protesters have been arrested, and at least 4 lives have been claimed since the Tia Maria conflict began. With more on the protests in solidarity with the residents of Tambo Valley and against the Tia Maria mining project, we go to our correspondent in Peru.
After 67 days of protest, the Valley of Tambo is now being supported by all regions in the south of Peru, who have entered a 48-hour general strike in solidarity with those who rejected the mining project Tia Maria. One of the participants explains why he has joined the strike.
Today we are seeing many violations of human rights. They are entering houses, they are detaining the population, they are committing atrocities, and we call the international community to speak on what is happening in the Valley of Tambo.
Meanwhile, in the capital, the Dignity and Democracy political party addressed the issue. This is the organization grouping former ruling party officials who deserted the president after his move to the right. Together with civil society organizations, they held a press conference accusing the government of worsening the situation. They also demanded the suspension of the mining project, lifting the state of emergency and the resignation of the Minister of the Interior for his handling of the conflict, with at least 4 deaths at the moment.
If the project is not suspended, there's going to be more problems and the government is sending the police and the army. In that case, there's going to be more blood and more death. Nobody wants that. That is why we are alerting and asking with anticipation in this statement in the press conferences.
This is only the 4th out of 60 days of the state of emergency called by the president that so far has resulted in the expansion of the protests to all the south of Peru and the possibility of a continuation of the strikes indefinitely. Rael Mora, Telesur, Lima.
Protests are also sweeping across Paraguay. Demonstrators are concerned with the low aim at privatizing public services, including health and education. Thousands of Peruvian activists and farmers mobilized across the country for the 10th consecutive day, demanded authorities to repeal the bill on public-private partnerships known as the APP. The legislation has received a widespread condemnation from public sector workers and civil society organizations. Guatemalan Nobel Peace Prize winner Rigoberta Menchú has been hospitalized in Mexico City. The laureate suffered a pressure drop and has been taken to the hospital. Menchú is in Mexico as an international observer for local elections, which will take place in various states next Sunday. We now go to our correspondent in Colombia, Natalia Margarita, who has talked to victims of enforced disappearances. His families are demanding justice and truth for the country's 45,000 people forcibly missing.
It was 2001 when Aide, together with her parents, embarked on a tough journey, searching for her brother William, who unexpectedly disappeared in Cabullaro, a rural municipality back then under the full control of paramilitaries.
Together with my mother, we went to the place and looked for him. We were very brave, to the point that we even went to the paramilitaries to ask them for the whereabouts of my brother, but we have never gotten an answer up to today.
After 14 years of tireless searching, Aide's parents passed away, and so did their dream of seeing their son once again. William is just one face out of the 45,000 Colombians disappeared, officially registered since 1985, a number that is the highest in South America and that the controversial Inspector General has refused to acknowledge.
He has only acknowledged the 2,760 disappeared. That is simply unfair. What about all our sorrow from many years of seeking for our relatives disappeared by the army? The police and the security agents, that must be also part of the truth clarification within this peace process.
Janet managed to recover the body of her sister Nidia after a former military official confessed to the crime. Now she's one of the voices demanding the government declassify the secret archives as a way to bring truth and relief to the relatives of the disappeared, a request that the Historic Commission for the Conflict has also made.
That could give us clues on the whereabouts of the disappeared, or the graveyard the military were using after combats, where they used to bury the NNs, which were the war instructions against the populations, because we have said that the counterinsurgency war here was mainly directed against civilians.
Relatives of Colombians disappeared have gathered here outside the office of the Inspector General to demand justice and truth, but also to make it clear that their struggle won't stop until they finally find their beloved ones. Natalia Margarita, Telesur, Bogotá.
We begin our world news roundup in the United States. President Barack Obama accepted the decision of the U.S. Court of Appeals that ruled in favor of blocking his immigration action.
The U.S. Department of Justice will not seek a suspension from the Supreme Court over this new decision, which affects millions of undocumented Hispanics in the U.S. The announcement follows a DOJ evaluation of a ruling by a U.S. Court of Appeals to block Obama's immigration reform aimed at protecting migrants. The appeals court ruled that Obama likely circumvented the law on how policies are to be passed. The death toll in India due to a heat wave that is sweeping the country continues to rise. Authorities confirmed that over 1,400 people have died due to extreme temperatures that have near 122 degrees Fahrenheit or 50 degrees Celsius. Most of the victims were in the southern provinces of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana and are said to be homeless or poor. The heat wave, which has melted large parts of pavements in various streets, is predicted to continue for a few more days.
The heat wave is still continuing in the state of Andhra Pradesh. The maximum temperatures today also at many places recorded at 46 to 47 degrees.
A spokesperson for the Ukrainian rebels clarified that the rebel groups operating in the east of the country are not seeking independence from Kyiv. The rebel spokesman Denis Pushlin said that the rebel forces will stick to the Minsk agreement, which grants them a wider autonomy and will try to find a common ground with the Ukrainian government.
The FIFA saga continues. Its president, Sepp Blatter, has refused to face the press, while the International Football Association has confirmed it will continue with its presidential election despite fierce opposition. Also, former FIFA Vice President Jack Warner was arrested in Trinidad and Tobago and later released on bail pending his extradition to the U.S.
FIFA was set to hold elections Friday, but after Wednesday's arrest of top-level officials, many have expressed concerns regarding the elections and have called for FIFA to postpone them. Current president and candidate Joseph Blatter issued a statement reacting to the arrest through FIFA website, but has declined facing the press.
President Blatter apologized not to be able to come today because of the turbulences you have probably followed in the media.
And Russian President Vladimir Putin criticized the arrests against high-level FIFA officials on Wednesday and Washington's meddling in the football organization. He said he believed the United States was trying to impede Joseph Blatter's re-election, suggesting the US is trying to block the World Cup from happening in Russia in 2018. The Russian government criticized the fact that the US is applying its own law abroad.
More on these on our website, telesurtv.net/English. Thank you for watching and have a good day.